You ever picked up a protein shake from your local supermarket after your run or gym session thinking, this is the quick fix I need to kickstart my recovery? Well, if that's the case, then this video might just save your gut, your wallet, and maybe even your progress. Hi, I'm James, a registered sport nutritionist and former supplement developer. I help busy professionals and runners master their nutrition instead of being a slave to macros and gimmicky products. Today, we're going to break down the truth behind the shiny, ready-to-drink protein shakes that you see everywhere. We'll break down what's really inside them, what they taste like, whether they actually support your training, and whether they're worth your money. So what actually makes a recovery protein shake good? Well, obviously, the amount of protein is going to be a good starting point, but then also the quality of that protein. And when we're talking about protein quality, we're talking about two factors: whether it is a complete amino acid source, and also how much leucine, which is the key amino acid that drives muscle protein synthesis. The second thing we need to look at is its carb and fat content. So if you're using it right after a run or gym session, then some carbs are a good thing, as they're going to help replenish your muscle glycogen stores. If you're just having this protein shake as a snack midday when you're sedentary, then having lower carb levels or slower releasing carb levels are going to be more what you want. Next up, the added bonus ingredients. So these may be the vitamin and mineral blends, they may be digestive enzymes, they may also be added fiber so that they can have marketing claims, or even just the sweeteners or emulsifiers used. Finally, consider how well your gut can tolerate the product. Are you the kind of runner who struggles with lots of sweeteners and thickeners in your diet, and you need to bring these down and have a product with a cleaner label? Okay, let's meet our contenders, and these are 6 products from Tesco, and I've gone for chocolate to try and keep this as fair as possible on taste. So in price order, we have the Huel chocolate meal replacement shake, which is £3.50. We have the Bowl, which is also a meal replacement shake and is £3.25. These two are both plant-based and vegan. We then have the UFit, which is 50 grams of protein and is £3. For Goodness Shake, 35 grams of protein and £2.50. The Arla, 25 grams of protein and £2.10. And finally, Pro Milk, which is 25 grams of protein and £1.50. Okay, time to taste. Give them a bit of a shake. And the first thing you notice is that it's really thick, it really swells around the mouth. It's quite a deep chocolatey flavour. It almost tastes quite muddy, if that makes sense. Sort of get the feeling that you're going through a very tasty swamp, if that makes sense. Maybe not as indulgent as maybe some of the ones that we're going to get into, but I don't mind that. I can definitely drink it. You get quite an earthy feel to it. So earthy, muddy notes coming through there. The Bowl, I mean, just shaking that, I can feel it's going to be thinner. Don't know if I'm right on that. Okay, the first thing I get from this is the banana, which I was not expecting, because it says chocolate powder shake. And I have read the ingredients list and seen that there's banana in it, but it's in a very low percentage, and I wasn't expecting that flavour to come through, but maybe because banana is so strong, you definitely get the banana. And actually, I was hoping that you would get more of the almond, because you can see almonds on the front, and there's some almond butter in it, which should be giving it some mouthfeel, but that doesn't really come through. It's definitely a chocolate banana taste to that. It's a lot thinner than the Huel. I don't mind it, but I would have liked to have known that that was coming. Next one, UFit. So this is 50 grams of protein. Giving it a shake. So I was expecting this to be really thick and indulgent. I don't know if that's just my brain looking at the branding, seeing the UFit sort of curlier. I'm thinking it's going to be almost like this branding makes you think it's going to be sloppier and gooier. But then also, if it's got 50 grams of protein and there's a lot of powder in there, so how they've made that as thin as it is, a lot thinner than the Huel, I don't really know. In terms of flavour, it's not particularly bold. It's definitely chocolatey, but it's fairly mild, sort of a chocolate flavour really. Quite a little bit underwhelming in terms of taste. For Goodness Shake. So these 4 are the dairy ones. Now that is thinner still compared to this one, which you'd probably expect because there's less protein in. A little bit more milk chocolatey, I would say. So that one was a bit sort of, it is a chocolate flavour, but it wasn't particularly bold. This one's more of a milk chocolatey. That might be because it feels slightly sweeter. This has much more of a yazoo kind of vibe to it. If you imagine a chocolate yazoo, or just chocolate milk, maybe with Nesquik, a little bit more similar to that. The Arla product. Okay, I found my favourite on taste so far. I like that. Yeah, the chocolate taste lasts a bit longer in the mouth. Feels a bit more robust. Not as milk chocolatey. It's a slightly darker note and it comes quite late. I like that one, that's tasty. And then the Pro Milk. Okay, and I've definitely found the sweetest one, and quite possibly my favourite one. There's more of a chocolate ice cream vibe to this one. It feels like there's more sugar in it. Oh, we'll get into the carbohydrate content, but you can almost taste that when you get to the bottom of your ice cream and it's starting to melt. It's that chocolatey sweet at the bottom of your bowl. That's very tasty. So I think that one currently wins on taste. That is our number one. So the Pro Milk is my overall taste winner, but taste doesn't necessarily mean it's a good recovery product. We need to look at the bigger picture. So let's have a look at price. Now let's talk money. So I've calculated the price per gram of protein, and you'd probably think it would be the 50-gram portion that would be the cheapest, but because the Pro Milk is just so cheap, it works out to be cheapest by 1 pence. So this is 5 pence per gram, whereas the UFit is 6. But reality is these 4 products, because they're all variations of the same sort of thing, actually the price per gram of protein is pretty similar. 5 pence, 6 pence, 7 pence, 8 pence. So you're not really making a massive saving there in terms of price per gram of protein. So it's really the total ticket price. So what you need to be thinking is, well, actually how much protein do I want to be getting in? To help you answer that question, I would probably say you need to know how much protein you're getting in the rest of your day, and use that to guide what sort of quantity of protein you want to be having in post-workout. If you really struggle to eat large quantities of protein in your main meals, then actually having a really high one could be good for you. But if you eat a lot of protein outside, then having one of the lower options might suit. Now, it might be a little bit mean to be comparing these 2 products in this lineup, as they're not just flavored milk products. They are technically meal replacement shakes, which means they've got that vitamin and mineral blend, and they're designed to be used having instead of a meal. But obviously, if you're vegan or vegetarian, you're slightly limited on your protein options. You can still use these as a recovery modality, but you are actually going to have to pay for it. So whereas these were between 5 to 8 pence, you've got 13 pence here, and then the Huel with a whopping, I think it's 18 pence. But value isn't just about cost, it's also about quality and whether it fits with your lifestyle and your gut. So if you're someone looking for the cleanest label, by which I mean not taking any sweeteners, artificial or otherwise, or emulsifiers, then actually the Bong product is probably for you, because there's no sweeteners or emulsifiers in there. I was actually really excited by this product when I read the label, thinking it's a fantastically clean label, it should be a great product, but then maybe I was just a little bit thrown by the taste. And my recommendation is to take the banana out. This would be a really nice chocolate shake, fantastic clean label, if it just didn't have that weird banana background that you weren't necessarily ready for. So if you're purely plant-based and you don't like banana, then I probably would go with the Huel chocolate shake. Just be mindful though, because these are meal replacement shakes, they have an added fiber in there called inulin. Now, this is a very healthy ingredient, it's great for your gut microbiome, but having too much of it, depending on what your gut sensitivity is, might create a little bit of excess gas. So if you get a bit farty after having these, back off and maybe reduce the portion size, or go for products that don't have inulin in them. So best overall product, I'm going for the Pro Milk. It's got good ingredients, I mean it's 92% skimmed milk, it's got great taste, no gut bombs, and it's got a good carb quantity. The best budget option? Well, obviously it's the Pro Milk. I mean, just as a comparison here, if you were to buy a pint of normal skimmed milk, well, that's only 1 pence cheaper per gram of protein than this. But this one, you get that tasty chocolate feel too. But James, this is only 25 grams of protein. Well, if you really wanted to get 50 grams of protein, you could just buy 2 of these. Then you actually get more carbohydrate too, which is going to help that recovery after a run, and you've had more fluid. that's also going to help your recovery. Now, the worst product, I think this is a little bit expensive for what it is. I was quite underwhelmed by the taste of this, but it does serve a purpose if you just want to get that massive hit of protein in. But realistically, it's this one. Unfortunately, that banana has really skewed it. If they take that out, they've got a really tasty chocolate shake. But by not really telling you that that's in there, it's going to be quite a surprise for a lot of people. So those are my thoughts, but at the end of the day, the choice is yours. It's up to you, your budget, your lifestyle, and your gut. Hopefully this has helped. So remember, you don't need to be a slave to a bottle to feel good and perform at your best. So subscribe, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.